Muslim and Arab governments clearly support Palestine, right? That's what we're told. But let's take a closer look together. The reality couldn't be further from the truth. While Palestinians suffer genocide, displacement, and unspeakable atrocities by the Israeli regime, many of these regional governments are shaking hands with Israel, behind closed doors and sometimes even openly. Let's begin with Turkey. Erdogan's fiery speeches for Palestine make headlines, like his recent speech for the UN to use force against Israel's aggressions. But here's the twist. Turkey was the first Muslim-majority country to recognize Israel back in 1949. Today, Turkey is one of Israel's largest trading partners, exporting billions and importing even more. Israel ranked as Turkey's 13th biggest export market. At the same time, Israel was Turkey's 5th largest source of imports. Then there's Saudi Arabia. Crown Prince Mohammed ibn Salman didn't hold back either, accusing Israel of committing collective genocide in Gaza. But just last year, the Saudi government was in deep negotiations for a historic normalization deal with the Israeli regime, inconveniently postponed thanks to the actions of the Palestinian resistance. So what does this say about the kingdom's priorities? And Jordan, praised by some for its support of Palestine, Jordan is far from innocent. Israel supplies Jordan with millions of cubic meters of water each year. In return, Jordan buys Israeli natural gas and participates in shared missile defense systems. Just take a look at Jordan's passionate defense of Israel during the Iranian ballistic missile attacks on Israeli military targets back in April and October. Meanwhile, trade between the two nations continues to grow. Millions in goods exchange, from transportation equipment to plastics. Egypt doesn't fare any better. As the first Arab country to normalize relations with Israel in 1979, Egypt has become a key player in enabling the Israeli regime. Israeli gas exports to Egypt rose by 25% in 2023 alone, and their trade partnership now tops over $1 billion annually. And let's not forget Egypt's role in the Gaza blockade, trapping Palestinians in a cycle of poverty and despair. What about Bahrain? While flights to Tel Aviv may have been suspended after October 7th, Bahrain stopped short of severing ties. In fact, trade between Bahrain and Israel has skyrocketed this past year. Even worse, Bahrain actively buys Israeli spyware and other technology to use against its own population, while strengthening its ties with the Israeli regime. As for the Moroccan government, they're all in on Israel. Israeli drones are now manufactured on Moroccan soil, and a $500 million deal for Israeli missile systems was signed just last year. Trade between the two nations continues to climb, driven in part by the Abraham Accords, the US-backed normalization agreement that seeks to give Israel a free pass in the Muslim world. But it doesn't end there. Israel's energy needs are heavily supported by Muslim-majority nations. More than 60% of its crude oil imports come from Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan, two countries whose actions contradict any claim of solidarity with the Palestinian people. Meanwhile, trade between Israel and the UAE reached $3 billion in 2023, and that number is only rising. The bottom line is this: while a handful of nations like Iran and Syria remain steadfast in their opposition to the Israeli entity, many Muslim governments have normalized relations with Israel, prioritizing economic gain over solidarity with Palestine and the Palestinian people. If the Islamic world truly seeks unity and justice for Palestine, the first step and the bare minimum must be done: severing all economic ties with Israel and stand resolutely against its atrocities. Anything less is complicity in genocide.